Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Pull Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured, because it's about to get real. Alright, so this episode right here, I want to touch on the 2 week notice thing. And I'm going to break this down. This is going to be a little lengthy because I'm going to explain to you why you shouldn't put in a 2 week notice. So roll with me. All right. Let me start this all the way from the top. First and foremost, I don't believe in a 2 week notice. Some people do. Some people put in 2 week notice. Some people think it's the noble thing to do. Is being an upstanding citizen and, having a good, what can you say, a good label on your report and, things like that, just in case you do go to the next job will look at you and say, hey, well, they put in a 2 week notice at this job, so we know this is a good, reliable person, blah, 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 blah. All of that is blah. This is the real about a 2 week notice. These companies do not care about you at all. If they did care about you, when they fire you, do they give you a 2 week notice? But they require you to give them a 2 week notice. Why is that? Because regardless if you quit today or if you get fired today, they gonna have somebody fill your position and that business is gonna continue on. So why do you have to give them a 2 week notice? If they fire you right on the spot. Ain't no, hey, you know what? We caught you sleeping on the job last week, so we gonna fire you. We gonna give you a 2 week notice. You got 2 weeks to find you another job. You got 2 weeks to make you a 2 week check and, figure it out from there. Nah, that ain't how that work. They caught you sleeping on the job or drinking on the job or not doing your job, whatever the case is. Or even if they just want to get rid of you. They just tired of you. They got a new employee that's more qualified than you and, feel your position better, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the case is, they drop you right then and there. So why do they require you to give them a 2 week notice? It's slave mentality. It's them having that rope around your neck saying, hey, I control you, and you got to report to me when you want to do something. Well, let me break that generational curse for you. Take that noose around your neck. Take that off. Because that's what it is. If you ready to leave a job, quit it. Don't give them no notice. Quit. Because when you get them a notice, now they like, oh, well, regardless if you a good employee or a bad employee, now they like, oh, well, yeah, such and such leaving. So they start treating you wrong. They start cutting your hours. They start playing with your checks. They get to disrespecting you, talking to you funny, all type of crazy stuff. So that 2 week notice is not it. And then, this ain't every company. Every company don't operate like that. Some cool with the 2 week notice and they still treat you the same and everything's still cool. And, after you move on, they put a good record on you and say, hey, this person was a good person, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it do happen. But for the other 95% of companies, nah, they don't care about you. You just another name tag. You just another sign in. These companies don't care because you just another one of their slaves. They don't look at you as Jack or John is, top flight or none of that. You another slave to them. They don't care. You could die today. They gonna have somebody fill your spot tomorrow. So I could say a whole lot more about that, but that's just what I'm gonna just break down for the time. So I'm gonna give you a clear example of this 2 week thing, right? And what I mean about them playing with you and using you as a head count. How many times have you worked at a job and just say you had to be there at 8 a.m. and they call you by 7 a.m. and say, hey, we firing you today. You don't even got to come in. How many times do that happen? Not often. They wait till you get there, complete your shift, then they tell you fired. And you looking like, man, I worked the whole day. Like, why y'all have me even come in? Because it's called head count. Just like in school, when they have count day, that's money that the government fund them. This is why they call it a count day. For you to show up on this day. You could have missed every day of school. But on count day, you better be there on count day. Because they need their head count. That's their government fund. Same thing with these companies. They need your head count. So, yeah, with them needing your head count, they have you come in and work that day. When they already know you fired. They be cool with you, act like ain't nothing wrong, blah, blah, blah. You do your duties, boom, they fired you. Where the 2 week notice at in it? Because it ain't about that. They already got the next person to fill your spot and everything. You just a casualty, So, the example I'm going to give you out of this is something that happened to me. This is why I'm telling you not to do a 2 week notice. Be your own boss, even if you is work. When it comes to quitting because you found a new job or you just tired of the job or whatever the case is, governor yourself. When you ready to go, go. Don't give them no notice. Just go. Forgive them. If the company fall apart because you quit today, so be it. You already had the mentality that you was leaving anyway. So go ahead and go on about your business. Don't give them no 2 week notice. This company don't care about you. So don't do that. And the example I'm about to give you is this right here. Okay. So 2017, right? Let's roll back the clock. I became a demolition contractor. Now I gave you that. Now let me roll it back a little further. To 2012, when I first got sent off to prison. I got locked up in 2011, but my case and everything wasn't over to the beginning of 2012. When your case is over and the judge sentenced you to prison time and everything from the county jail, because you start off in the county jail, you fight your case from there, and you lose, and the judge sentenced you, you ride out the very next day. So the judge sentenced me to 4 years. Boom. I rolled out the very next day to the prison. So this is the beginning of 2012 when I finally get to prison. I get to prison, and I was on the yard at Adrian, Michigan. It's further down Michigan. It's like damn near at the border of Ohio. I got sent there. I've been to 2 prisons in my 4 years. Adrian was the first prison. Lapeer was the second prison. Lapeer is like right next door to Flint. If y'all know where Flint is. Flint is like in the middle of the Michigan mitten. It's probably about right here. Yeah, my finger fucked up. I had broke it when I had got shot. That was one of the bullets that hit me in my finger. So, yeah, Lapeer is like right in the middle of the map. So, okay. When I went to Adrian, it's crazy how God worked, because I did half my time at Adrian and the other half of my time at Lapeer. So I did 2 years at Adrian, right? While I was there, when I first got there, I was there for probably like a month. And I ended up establishing a team and everything. God working mysterious ways. It was 5 of us. We all was from different areas, you know. A few of us was from different cities. We all was young. We all had the same mentality, the same dreams, the same goals. Not like necessarily we all want to do the same thing, but we all had, you know, the same type of mentality going on. Like, hey, when I get out, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, blah blah blah. You know, all positive type of things. So we formed a crew, and we got real tight instantly. It was 5 of us. We walked the yard together. We worked out together. When we went to chow, which is to go eat, we all sit down at the table together. All of that, like we was rocking. We ain't letting nothing happen to each other. So one of the guys in my crew was named Nard. Shout out to Nard. You know who you is. You find my channel, you know, hit me up, man. That's my boy. But anyway, Nard was one of the guys in the crew. And fast forward to tape now that I, you know, gave you that, we out of prison now. Oh, and let me say one more thing. Let me rewind the tape a little bit. We all was getting out at the same year and everything. Like I said, crazy guy got work. So we all stuck together. When we was in there with guys that had life, guys that had 20, 30 years, guys had 10 years, you know, all type of time. We was in there with guys that ranged from going home tomorrow all the way up to a life sentence. So us 5, we all was getting out at the same time and everything. We all had the same mentality. We all birds of a feather flock together. You know, like I said, God worked in mysterious ways. So now let me fast forward the tape again. Here it is, we out of prison. We all got out 2015, 2016. All 5 of us. We all got out around that time. So here it is, 2017. Nard ended up finding me on Facebook, right? I ain't seen these guys in years because I did 2 years at Adrian, and then I got shipped to Lapeer because I had to take a violent offender class. And the violent offender class was only available in Lapeer. It wasn't available in Adrian. So when my time was winding down, they had to transfer me to Lapeer so I can get that class done before I paroled. So I ain't seen Nard in them in like 3, 4 years, something like that. It's been some years since I seen my guys, you know. So Nard, you know, he found me on Facebook. We got to talking, like, yeah, man, you know, we did that time. That was crazy, blah, blah. He like, yeah, bro, you know, I got a job for you. You know, you want to work, make this money. It's a cool job, pay pretty good, blah, 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 blah. Now, at the time, I was doing At the time, I was doing landscaping. And I was just ready for something different, you know. It wasn't really no problem. Shout out to my boy D. D Money, you know who he is, you know. I was working with him. That was one of my homies from the block. He grew up, got his life together, started his own landscaping company. Shout out to D Money. So, like I said, it wasn't no problem with that. I was just, you know, ready for a change. So Nard came at me with this demolition thing. I'm like, you know, I never did that, you know. That'd be something different, you know, something to try. He like, man, look, they gonna hire you right on the spot, blah, 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 blah. He like, I work here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, you know, let's see what it's about. So he told me what day to come up there, and he said he was gonna be up there waiting on me. I'm like, all right, you know. So I came up there. Sure enough, he was there. Mind you, I ain't seen my dude in years. So, you know, we slapped 5, we hugged. Man, I ain't seen him in a minute, blah, blah, you know, all that kind of reunite thing, you know. So, we did all that. He like, yeah, man, you know, go in the building, you know, tell him who you is, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, that's simple. He like, yeah. So I go in there. I tell them, who I am, I'm a good worker, blah, blah, blah. They just writing stuff down. They like, oh, okay. Well, you hired. Just like that. I'm like, what? They ain't did no background check. They ain't did no cavity check on nothing. They was just like, okay, you hired. Gave me a hard hat, gave me the vest, gave me a hammer, all that stuff. All I had to do was get some Dickies and some steel toe boots. And man, them steel toe boots, you have to have steel toe boots doing construction or demolition, any hard job like that. And I'm gonna say this real quick, why you really need steel toe boots, because when you like doing demolition and stuff like that, you gotta think it's people on the ceiling, taking pipes down and stuff like that. And it don't even necessarily gotta be the pipe that the person is taking down that'll come down on. It could be the pipe next to it that's connected to the pipe that the person is taking down. That pipe can come down, and it come down and hit you in the foot. And if you don't got that steel toe protecting your feet, you're gonna lose your feet for real. And it didn't happen to me, where big old pipe came down, boom, smacked me dead on the steel toe. And the steel toe is black shoe. Pipe came down so fast and so hard, it tore the black paint off of the boot to where it was showing the metal. So just imagine if I didn't have that metal protecting my foot would have been done. So yeah, steel toe boots is a must in that type of field. So anyway, I get hired. I'm in the game. So the way how this company worked, Blue Star Demolition. Shout out to Blue Star. I had a good time with them, But this video is breaking down why you shouldn't get no 2-week notice, So it's kind of a shout out to Blue Star, and then it's kind of going against them at the same time. But, no beef or no defense against Blue Star. I'm just giving my story about it. So, yeah, I get hired. They send me my first assignment like 2 days later. They gave me like 2 days to get my boots and, my clothing and all of that stuff. So, all right, I got my stuff. Send me the location, which was to a house in West Bloomfield, Michigan. West Bloomfield is like 20 to 30 minutes away from Detroit, north of Detroit. It's one of the richest neighborhood tri-county cities around Detroit, where all the rich people stay off the water and all that. West Bloomfield is beautiful. But I get to the house, and it was a nice, big, beautiful house. And the owners, they wanted some work done in the house, so they wanted like they whole attic demo. They want all of that taken out. So with demo, it's all destruction. You got demolition, then you got construction. Construction is building. Demolition is tearing it down. So they wanted me and the crew that was there, they wanted us to demo the whole attic, take all that stuff out, the ceilings, the walls, all that. So with demolition, when you knock everything down, take all the piping out, you clear it, you gut out everything, a house, building, wherever you get sent, you gut all of that stuff out. After you gut everything out, all the debris and stuff that's left, you clean all that up, which is they have one of them big dumpsters outside, and you throw all the debris in the dumpster. After you get all the debris out the house or the building, then you come through with a broom, you sweeping and all that stuff. Some cases you even got a mop, but most of the time you just gotta sweep it up and you done. That's demo. You don't build anything with demo. You just tear it down, clean it up, go on about your business, right? So, yeah, probably brighten up a little bit because the sun coming out, But, yeah, so that's the job with demolition. So I got sent to this house. I never demoed in my life. So when I got there, they told me what to do. They give you a blueprint of what to do. They tell you what areas to hit to make a whole wall fall down and all of that. So I'm just learning, I'm watching, and, I'm paying attention. I'm a fast learner. I catch on real quick. I never did demo in my life, but I watched it and I caught on. All right, boom. Ran through it. We tore all that up, cleaned everything up, job done. After that, let me explain what a foreman is. A foreman is a manager. Just like at your job, you got a manager. In the contractor world, the foreman is the manager. They don't call him a manager in contracting. Contracting is construction and demolition. They don't call the manager a manager. They call him a foreman. So basically the foreman, stand there and make sure all the workers do their job and everything. And then after everything done, the foreman send a report back to the office and let the office know, who was doing their job, who wasn't, blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm not saying all demolition companies work like this, but this how Blue Star work. When they hire you, what they do is they send you to different sites with different foremen and different workers. And what they do is they send you to a site and see how you work with them. The foreman make a report. The foreman say, oh nah, he weak, he don't do his job, blah 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 blah. Then the office decide if they fire you or not, or send you to another location and see how you would do somewhere else. So, be honest, I don't know what type of report the first foreman gave me, but by the very next day, I was sent to another site, which is, makes sense because we already did the job at the house. It wasn't like it was a 2-3 day job or nothing. It was just that 1 day job and it was over. So the very next day, I got sent to another site with another foreman and another team. Now, I'm not racist at all, nothing like that. But when I got to that next site, which was in Redford, Michigan, Redford is west of Detroit. When you going back west of Detroit, when you like deep west, about to leave Detroit, Redford is the very next city over. So Redford borders Detroit. When they sent me to Redford, they sent me to a plaza in Redford. A plaza, containing a bunch of stores, a strip mall, plaza, whatever you call it. That's what it was. And it was a Foot Locker. And the Foot Locker, the suite next door to the Foot Locker was up for sale. So the Foot Locker bought that suite. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to expand, their store. So with them buying the suite, they thing was knock this wall down because we need all this space. So okay, that was the demo job. Was to knock that wall down, clean up everything, blah blah blah. So that Foot Locker can expand. So I get there. The foreman is a white guy, and everybody on his team was all white guys. It was about 10 of them because it was a big job. So I instantly noticed the energy, but nobody talking to me, nothing, Cool. I ain't here to be friends anyway. I'm here to work. So when I get there, the foreman, he telling us what all to do, how to do it, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. Start the job. I go in. Nah, I'm not faking, phony, none of that. I keep everything real. Those guys was weak. They ain't know what to do. All that. They was some suckers, for real. I came through there, pow, 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 knocking everything down. Boom, 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 everything falling. Poof. Debris flying everywhere. I'm just in there going hard, right? I'm trying to prove myself. I ain't gonna lie, And mind you, I don't know nothing about this stuff. This is just something new, you know. So ping, 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 everything coming down. Boom, boom, boom. Wall at the wall, you know, all type of stuff. I'm killing, right? So after everything came down, the foreman was like, hey man, he pulled me to the side. He was like, man, you did such a good job, blah, blah, blah. He like, look, man, I ain't even gonna have you clean up. He was like, I got all these other guys, they can clean up. He was like, you get to go home early. So basically I got off like 3 or 4 hours before, you know, it was time to clock out. Cause in the demolition world, it ain't no clock you punch. It's just, you just say if you supposed to be there at 8 a.m. and just say the shift is over at 4 or 5 p.m. If y'all done at 12 o'clock, then you done. And you still gonna get paid for that 8-9 hour shift, whatever it is that you working. You still gonna get paid for all it. Demolition is very simple. Just get it done and go home. You don't have to sit there until the clock run out, none of that. You get done early, you done. Another example, you supposed to be there at 8 a.m. and like I said, your time is from 8 to 5. And just say you get there at 8 a.m. and you and your team blow through that stuff by 11 a.m. Just say it took y'all 3 hours. It was supposed to be an 8-hour job. It only took y'all 3 hours. Well, you gonna get paid for that whole 8 hours, and you only did 3 hours worth of work. Demolition, a whole nother world. So anyway, yeah, I finished the job early. I got a few hours of free pay. I'm feeling good. Boom, I go home. Cool. Very next day, I get another assignment. Shot me to another place. I'm like, dog, I just keep getting moved place to place. Like, all right, whatever, you know. So when I get to the third place, it was a black foreman. His name D. That's my boy. Shout out D. You know who you is. You another one. You find my channel, holla at me, my boy. When I got to his site, it was him and like 7 dudes there. All black guys. Everybody laughing, joking, smoking. You know, I ain't saying ain't nobody doing their job. It was just the energy was just way different from the first 2 sites that I've been at, you know. So I'm here with D and his crew. This demolition job was to tear up the tiles in the floor. And we had to use a jackhammer to tear up the tiles. And at the end of the jackhammer, the tool that was used is like a flathead. It's like a huge flathead connected to the jackhammer. And that's what you use to tear up the tile on the floor. And it's like the whole time. It's crazy. It shake up your whole body and everything. It's crazy. But anyway, you gotta have it in you to work that jackhammer. So I ain't gonna lie, you know, I'm new to this. I'm like, man, I don't really want to touch that jackhammer. I'd rather swing this hammer, you know. But the job was to jackhammer the floor. With demolition, you gotta do a lot of different things. It ain't just necessarily tearing up walls. It tear up floors and everything. It's a lot with demolition. So I'm watching this old man tearing up the floor, doing the demolition with the jackhammer. Mind you, I never even touched the jackhammer. So I'm watching what he doing. He got back problems. So his back keep messing up on him, you know, he got to keep taking breaks, everything. So he taking a break, and I'm just watching him. I'm like, you know, this dude keep taking a break. I'm about to jump in, you know, prove myself. So by his 3rd break, I got it. I'm like, all right, this how you do it. Cool. I knew he was about to take a break because I was watching him how he kept taking breaks because his back was bad. By his 3rd break, I'm like, hey man, give me that. He's like, you sure? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah. So he like, all right. I took the hammer, tore the floor, the whole thing. I blew through it like it was nothing. First time ever touching a jackhammer in my life. Tore that floor up like it was nothing. The foreman, D, he was watching me, you know, the whole time. Long story short, after I did all of that, you like, hey man, I want you on my team. And again, that's the thing with demolition. They see you site after site, foreman after foreman, team after team. And basically, you got to get signed to one of these foremen's team. If they send you to so many sites and don't know foreman want to sign you, and they keep making bad reports about you, blah, 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 you get fired. So basically, you need to get signed to a team. So by my third assignment, I got signed. All right, I'm a part of a team. Cool. On this team, like I said, it was like 7 of 8 of us on this assignment. But the team was only 4 of us. So the other 3, 4 guys, they wasn't on the team. They was just a part of the assignment. So when the day was over, D was like, yeah, them boys gotta go. That's it, it's just us folk. All 4 of us was from the city. We all talked about the same stuff. We got along cool, locked in. Like I said, God working mysterious ways. So it started out with me being in prison with Nard and the crew. We got locked in, birds of a feather. Then I get out years later. Nard put me hip to demolition. 3rd day in, I get signed. Me and that team locked in, birds of a feather. So we all rolling together, we smoking together, we talking shit, blah, blah. Everything was good, right? We going assignment after assignment, city to city, we all over the place, demoing everything, we blowing through stuff. We was a cold team. Blue Star loved us so much, they had jobs lined up for us before we even finished the assignment we was on. We already had the next job lined up. Like, that's just how quick we was blowing through stuff. It was crazy. So we doing real good, all of that, right? With the Foot Locker thing, with me and D getting so cool, me and him was talking, and he told me, he was like, yeah, man, you know how you ended up on my team, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? He was like, because the dude at the Foot Locker site told all the other foremen that I sucked, I wasn't doing my job, blah, blah, blah. Like, this dude just completely lied on me. But it worked in my favor because I got sent to a team that I actually wanted to be a part of, and I got signed and everything. So, it's crazy how, people would try and downplay you, and it turned out to be a good thing. So that's what it did. It turned out to be a good thing for me. So me working with D and everything, us having our team, we blowing through stuff, we doing the damn thing. Man, I had to do a part 2 about that because that was crazy. But anyway, fast forward to tape, about 6-7 months later, right? Blue Star send us to a Kroger in Grand Rapids. Now Grand Rapids, okay, let me give you the map again. This is the Michigan map. Detroit, like somewhere around here. Grand Rapids, way over here. So it's about 2-hour ride in between Grand Rapids and Detroit, right? So it was Kroger in Grand Rapids that needed to be demoed. So we had to drive out there, 2-hour ride there, 2-hour ride back. And of course it was a premium on the pay and everything. So we was with it. We like, all right, cool. We jumped in the car, we rolled out there, We went 2 cars deep. D rolled me, and the other 2 guys, they rolled in their car. We went out there. We get out to the Kroger. Oh man, that's for part 2. It was some work. We was out there for about 2 weeks in Grand Rapids. We had hotel rooms and all that. So we was staying in Grand Rapids for like 2 weeks on this demo job until we had to complete it. So while we out there, everything going good, all of a sudden, the very last day when we finished, mind you, it took us 2 weeks. We was in Grand Rapids for 2 weeks. The very last day when we finished it, right? Literally, when we finished it, Blue Star called and said, "Hey, y'all come back." Even though we was coming back anyway because we finished the job. They like, "Hey, y'all come back." We like, all right. We come back. It was that Friday. When we came back, we had the weekend off. We had the weekends off. That Monday, we were supposed to be starting a new assignment. They ain't had no assignment for me. D and the crew, they had an assignment. So I'm in D up. I'm like, "Hey man, what's up? Why I'm not, on the assignment? What's going on?" He like, "Man, I don't know. They just told me not to call you and blah blah blah." I'm like, what? Cause by this time with being on the team, D had just called me and be like, "Hey, we at blah 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 tomorrow. We here Thursday, blah blah blah, things like that." And D was like, "Hey, they told me not to call you, blah blah blah." I'm like, what? So I'm calling them. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" They like, "We don't got no work for you, blah blah blah." Like, what you mean you don't got no work? Instead of them just saying that they fired me, they just playing like they don't got no work for me. So I'm like, that's crazy. I spent like the next week calling them, trying to figure out what was going on. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing. It wasn't no, I did something crazy to get fired or nothing. They didn't even say I got fired. They just was playing me like they just didn't have no assignments for me. I'm like, I'm on a whole team. Why I can't just, go to work with my team? They like, "Nah, you can't do that, making up all these excuses and all of this. We'll call you, blah, blah, blah." Never called me. So at the end of the day, they fired me when they wanted to. And they fired me after I completed a whole assignment for them in a whole nother city, 2 hours away from home. I stayed out there for a whole 2 weeks. Did all that hard work at a Kroger. Did all that hard work and everything. Now, the Kroger letters on the building. Now, that sit up high on the building so everybody can see it. When we first got there, they had a lift outside, which is, one of those tower bucket things that shoot up in the sky. So you could do work high up in the sky and stuff like that. Like, perfect example with like DT, when they be in the bucket and they shoot up in the sky and they got to fix on the wires, up in the sky and stuff like that. Same exact thing. So we had to use that lift, shoot us up in that bucket up to the top of the building. And we had to remove the letters off we had to remove the Kroger letters off the building. It's easy to remove the letters because the letters just sit on the hook. So just say this the hook, and then they got like the K hooked on the hook, and then the R hooked on the hook, so on and so on. So all you do is just take the letters off the hook. It ain't like no heavy job you got to do. Just the letters sit on the hook. But the letters are very heavy, and you have to be careful with them. When you take each letter off, you got to sit in the bucket with you. Then you got to, down the button to shoot the bucket down to the ground, sit the letters down on the ground, shoot back up, keep repeating the same thing to get all the letters off. We even had to go on top of the roof and everything. Like, I did all that hard work where I could have died out there, all for Blue Star to just fire me out of nowhere. So my point of this whole story is that Blue Star used me for what they wanted, and then they fired me when they was ready to. They never gave me no 2-week notice. My 2-week notice should have been the day that they sent me out to Grand Rapids and said, "Hey, by the time y'all finish this assignment, you done." But they ain't do that. They played like everything was sweet because they needed me to go out there and do that work. And after the assignment was complete, they fired me. So I say all that to say this. Don't put in no 2-week notice, because they ain't gonna put in no 2-week notice on you. Go when you ready. There you have it.